All right, guys, we're back, and we are done with religions.
Missed us already.
Yeah, and we're moving on to the Middle Ages. We're going to be talking about the period after the fall of the Roman Empire, which you learned about in middle school.
Yep, but before the Renaissance and Reformation, sort of this odd time in between the ancient world and the modern world.
It's a 1,000-year period.
Yes.
So there's a lot of events that happen, but we can only cover the most important.
Yeah.
All right, so like we said, it's about a 1,000-year period, roughly 500 to, depending on where in Europe, maybe up to 1,500. In some cases, it ended in 1300s. So after the fall of the Roman Empire, we'll see a disruption.
476 AD.
That's right. We'll see a disruption of trade. Cities are going to fall apart. Populations will shift out of the cities into the farms. Learning declines, just like Maloney's.
Yeah. Nobody's worried about going to school. The cities are too crowded and violent, and they got all these attacks coming, so people just want to get out of there.
And what was the language of the Roman Empire?
Roman? No, Latin.
Latin. And
Yes.
we're going to see new languages that are from Latin, like Spanish,
French?
English,
Maybe a little German?
German. So these languages all evolved from Latin. So there was the Roman Empire, which dominated southern Europe.
All the way up into what is today Britain, North Africa. So,
And there's your number. You were right.
yeah, 476. Yeah, because I'm smart.
All right. So
Go.
Yeah, you are. So Christianity, the Franks, that's the French people, they're
Ooh.
going to unite under Clovis in 496. And Clovis had his army convert to Christianity. Church said, that's cool. More Christians
I was
for
gonna
us
say.
equals more money.
More missionaries.
All right, so we're going to see this religion not going away in this topic.
No. So the words you're probably familiar with: monasteries, monks, nuns, these religious communities set up schools, libraries. As an aside, they used to have to handwrite all of their books. So printing press is going to be very welcome. Convents were for the nuns, and then again we've got the Pope expanding his power. All about making some money.
That's right. There's Clovis
hey,
right
Clovis.
there.
How are you?
Rocking that sweet beard. Charles Martel.
The Hammer.
Yep, stop. Hammer time. He defeated the Muslims at the Battle of Tours back in 732. He becomes a Christian hero because if he had lost the battle, Islam could have spread throughout Europe, but they kind of kept it stopped at Spain. So that's why he's important. Charlemagne was his grandson, and he's going to be the first Holy Roman Emperor. And he's going to expand Christianity throughout the empire as well. In the year 800 AD, he was able to become the emperor.
And crowns.
Save the
himself
Pope.
emperor.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, how nice.
There he is.
Look at those
Yes.
crowns. Pretty impressive.
I know. Sweet beard, too, like his grandpa.
Oh, yeah. So we got our vocabulary terms for this unit. A fief is going to just be the piece of land that you get, and feudalism is all about land. So the knights, mounted warriors on horseback, defending the lord, defending the estate, which is the manor. The church is going to be super important at this time because without like a central authority, and there's all these smaller territories, the church is going to be really important connection between the people and like the leaders. So those clergy, religious officials, and then the lord, the landowner.
Ooh, landlord.
Landlord.
Get it now.
Yes. Pay your rent on time.
Yeah, screw
Deadbeat over here. Hey.
So the word secular means worldly.
Non-religious.
Yeah. Chivalry is the idea that you defend your lady, your feudal lord, your god. So people follow rules of etiquette and
Mr. Lomer always opens doors
for myself.
for.
We're going to see a great weapon of this time period, the trebuchet, which is a giant slingshot that can throw objects up to close to 1,000
They
feet.
used to put anything in there. Is cows, dead animals, rocks, soldiers that were captured. They like flung them back over the wall. Pretty impressive.
That's right. And troubadour is what I would have been in the Middle Ages,
Yeah,
a
right.
poet, musician, lived at the castles and courts of Europe.
Not
so.
if you've heard him sing.
So we will be seeing these vocabulary terms throughout the chapter. Lay investiture, that's the idea where kings and nobles get to pick church officials. Church doesn't like that.
No. They want to keep all their power.
Major domo,
Oh,
the
sorry.
mayor of the palace.
The vassal is going to be the person getting the land from that landowner or the lord. And then the serf is just going to be another word for a peasant.
All right. Wow, I can't wait to use these words with all my friends.
Make a quiz.
All right, so that's the end of section 1. Write a paragraph, you know the drill. All
Section
right.
2.
Section 2, feudalism. So
That's a beautiful house.
it is. Looks like mine. So in the time of the Middle Ages, these were dangerous, dangerous times. There were threats from all over, and a relationship will develop between the poor people who needed protection and the rich who have these beautiful castles that offer
resources.
protection. So a system develops, and that is called feudalism. So the attackers were coming from all over. We had Muslims attacking from the south, who were going to disrupt trade and control the Mediterranean Sea.
So those sneaky guys who were getting into Spain before.
The Magyars, which are people from Hungary today, they attacked from the east, and they were very scary because they captured people and sold them as slaves. And the most scary people of all were
The Vikings.
Yeah.
Or Loebner's family.
That's true.
Yeah.
Actually, my last name, Loebner, comes from Denmark, where the Vikings originated.
Nuh-uh.
Fast fact.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That's one half. The other half's from Puerto Rico. So the Vikings attacked from the north, and they attacked everywhere in Europe. And there it is. There's Europe. So the Vikings originated from Scandinavia. There's Denmark here, land of the Loebners. This is Norway,
Land of the Loebners.
Sweden,
Sweden.
and Finland. You can't see, but it's there, people. And they're going to
Trust.
go all throughout Europe, even down into the Black Sea. I know,
Pretty
crazy.
impressive.
Tell me about them.
Why me?
Let's do it.
The Norsemen or Northmen. The Vikings, when I think of the Vikings, I think of their ships, those huge ships, obviously sailing, looting villages. I think of them as like pirates too. Hundreds of warriors. I love 72 oars, so you have to have a crew who can row your boats, plus the crew who's going to fight. Tons. You've got the sails, and there they are going to reach Russia, Constantinople, explorers, farmers, and a lot of descendants in Europe are going to come from the Vikings. It's even mentioned that the Vikings were maybe one of the first groups to actually be in the United States before Columbus.
Like 500 years before.
Yes, exactly.
Amazing.
So,
But they didn't stay, so they don't
Oh.
get too much credit. Most famous one was Leif Erikson,
Oh,
who
yeah.
around the year 1000 traveled to North America.
Mm-hmm.
So they went to Iceland and Greenland and made their way to Canada, fought some Native Americans, but then they left.
yeah. Oh, they didn't like Christianity?
And when they became Christian, that's kind of mellowed them out, and they're going to stop attacking as much. They start settling down, farming. The weather improves. They were in a little ice
Family
age.
Vikings,
Yeah,
that's how the Loebners got started.
There's Leif right there, my great-great-great-grandpappy.
There's a walrus on his head.
It is a walrus.
Impressive.
Nice.
Hey, Tom.
So like I said before, feudalism is that military and political system. If I own the land and have the castle, you will work the land for me. I like the way you work it.
Yeah.
And you give me loyalty, and I will give you protection.
So it's all about give and take. So the key here is having land. If you don't have land to give, then you really don't have any power, essentially. So the vassal's the person who gets it, and then providing military protection to them in exchange for maybe working the land, getting food, things like that.
Okay.
Cool.
And one person could be a vassal to several different lords.
And
so
it's also,
complicated.
I would say it's also possible that a lord could be a vassal to somebody else. So depending on how big the land was, you could get land from somebody, but then give land, so you owe to somebody else, and then somebody owes to you. So it's very possible for that to happen.
And here's an example of one of these middle-aged towns. You have your castle up top, up on the hill. You can see the
Hopefully.
enemy coming. Yeah, if you're smart. You got your church. Ooh, water
Definitely
mill.
want to be on water.
Yes.
Source of power for the watermill and, sustenance.
Mm-hmm. A place to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
We have our social classes. At the top were the nobles and the knights, those who fight, men and women of the church.
Those who
Below
pray.
that. And then you got your peasants.
The lowly workers, the serfs.
And
Not
that's most of
slaves,
the
but
people.
serfs. Yeah.
But they were tied to the land.
Yep. So the manor system is essentially like a small town or community. It was self-sufficient, and you really didn't have to leave. The Lord provided you with housing, the farmland, the knights for protection if there was an attack, and then the serfs took care of the animals, and they farmed, maybe gave food. Obviously had to pay taxes. Everyone's got to pay taxes. So on grain, marriage, and even to the church. So.
And here's some images of castles.
Oh, that's a nice one. Pretty moat.
Yeah.
Nice
Crocodiles in
defensive
there.
structure.
Yeah,
I
very,
don't
very
see
well
any.
fortified.
Yeah,
Another one on the edge of the
they're
sea.
so pretty.
Yeah. And here's our last slide. Serfs were self-sufficient. They have to be able to take care of everything that they need. So they're growing their own crops and producing their own fuel, making their own clothes.
Yep.
Their homes were crowded little cottages, 1 or 2 rooms. The pigs slept in the homes with them.
Keep them warm.
Cozy. Slept on insect-infested straw, like my house, and ate, if they were lucky enough to
You're too
get
much.
any meat, probably spoiled, some vegetables,
Yeah.
bread.
And say a lot of bread and like grains.
But they accepted their lot in life and said, well, if I'm a good serf, eventually I might be able to go to
Heaven. Yes. So religion was really, really important back then. So they just accepted their place.
All right, so that concludes section 2. Only 5 more sections to go.
And then chapter 1.
Yeah.